Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
Except I think most of the leaves are down. Yeah, had a couple of windy days recently, and all the leaves on my tree in the backyard, the one tree that we got, they've been down for, I don't know, 2 weeks. Unfortunately, the neighbor, the guy right next door to me, he's got three actually, rather large trees. And those don't drop their leaves until much later. And it seems like the last couple of days, that's what's been happening. So yours truly's got a lot of leaves to rake up and suck up with the John Deere and all that stuff. Yeah. Try to get some of that done this week. It looks like weather-wise, it's going to continue to improve. We're looking at upper 40s today for a high, somewhere in the mid to upper 50s on Wednesday and Thursday, and then into the 60s by Friday and Saturday. So, yeah, be able to turn that heat back off. I like that. Lots to get to this morning. What's new on New Release Tuesday? We'll tell you about that. Going to talk to Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show. Find out what the hell happened last night. Boy, oh boy, they are in big trouble. Big trouble. They got serious problems in Green Bay. They got to fix them. Their offense is just not good right now. We're going to talk to Billy Gardell. That's right, actor and comedian Billy Gardell, who is going to be at the Pablo on January 30th. And we'll talk to him a bit later on this morning. And, of course, it is Veterans Day. So we'll be talking about some of the deals that veterans can take advantage of, that they have earned, and I hope they take advantage of. Lots of freebies out there for veterans today and their families. So please, if you are a military veteran, again, take advantage of those deals. You earned them. Don't forget, too, at the VFW in Eau Claire, the VFW 305, the Post 305, breakfast this morning. A breakfast buffet free for military veterans starting at 7 a.m., goes till 10:30 a.m. So if you are a military veteran in the Eau Claire area and you stop by the VFW Post 305 this morning from 7 until 10:30, you can enjoy a free breakfast. They do have, of course, the kitchen open if you want to stop in and support and buy your own breakfast. If you're not a military veteran, you can certainly do that. But free breakfast for veterans at the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire this morning.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Wendy's going to close hundreds of stores in the U.S. over the next couple of months in an effort to boost their profit and make their remaining stores more appealing. I know that we've got a Wendy's by my house, about a mile away from where we live, and every time I drive by, it feels like there's never anyone there. Like, you wonder sometimes if it's even open. That's not to say that they aren't busy in the other times that I'm not driving by, because I don't drive by the store 24 hours a day, but yeah. Wendy's, based out of Dublin, Ohio, said during a conference call with investors last week that they plan to begin closing restaurants in the fourth quarter of this year. The company said it expected a mid-single-digit percentage of its U.S. stores to be affected. Didn't give any more details. They're saying it could be about somewhere between 200 to 300 stores. So underperforming locations probably going to be the ones they look at most. But the new round of closures coming on top of the closures of 240 Wendy's locations back in 2024. So they've been shuttering a whole bunch of stores over the last year and some change, and it looks like that's going to continue with Wendy's. Honda, big recall on 400,000 Civics. A manufacturing flaw that may cause the wheels to come off while driving. Jesus. Man, some of these recalls, it's like, this button doesn't work and your sunroof is not going to open up fully, or like your heated seat may get too warm or something like that. But this sounds a little more dangerous. Honda recalling over 400,000 of their popular Civic vehicles after discovering that a manufacturing flaw may cause the wheels to come off while driving. Well, that doesn't sound fun. The voluntary recall applies to 406,000 Civics spanning model years 2016 to 2021. Apparently a supplier error, according to Honda, could cause the wheel nuts to loosen and detach. This could result in the wheels separating from the vehicle, increasing the risk of crash or injury. Yeah, you think? The wheel comes off while I'm driving down the highway at 90 miles an hour and it increases the risk of crash or injury? I'll say. Honda saying that only a limited number of vehicles are equipped with the potentially faulty wheels, encouraging owners of recalled Civics to take their cars to an authorized Honda dealership for an inspection. Obviously, if you've got a Honda Civic that was manufactured between 2016 and 2021, you might want to bring it in and have it looked at. Because the wheel might fall off while you're driving. That's not good. That is not good. Wouldn't like that. Cause of death now. An official cause of death for Ace Frehley, original guitarist, founding member of Kiss. Back on October 16th, his family announced that he had died at the age of 74 after suffering a fall at his home in New Jersey. A report from the Morris County Medical Examiner confirms that Ace Frehley did, in fact, die of blunt force trauma injuries. The manner of his death ruled an accident, so it sounds like he fell and went down, and that was it. Ace Frehley's family announcing the death last month in a statement. We are completely devastated and heartbroken. In his last moments, we were fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this earth. Ace Frehley survived by his wife, Jeanette, his daughter, Monique, brother, Charles, numerous nieces and nephews, but official cause of death now for Ace Frehley, blunt trauma injury due to an accident. And one of my favorite subjects to talk about, even when she's not here, because I know it riles her up, I still enjoy talking about the comet 3I Atlas. And for the first time, astronomers have now picked up a radio signal from the 3I Atlas as it speeds through our solar system. A radio telescope in South Africa, the Meerkat radio telescope, detected absorption lines from OH molecules made up of oxygen and hydrogen. Not quite sure what all that is because that's some big brain stuff. The professor from Harvard, Avi Loeb, who's been studying the comet since summertime, said these molecules leave a distinct radio signature that telescopes like Meerkat can pick up. Previous attempts to detect the signals in September failed. Analysis showing the OH molecules moving at roughly 61 miles per second relative to Earth. I don't know what any of this means. All I know is that I'm here for the aliens. They're coming on the 3I Atlas. Maybe. We'll see. Now we're getting radio signals, signatures, all that stuff. There's OH molecules. It's changing colors, allegedly. The 3I Atlas. Speeding through our solar system. We'll see. What were they saying? The end of November? Sometime in November, late November, might get a glimpse of these aliens as they get closer to Earth. We'll see. Maybe they just rocket past. They're going somewhere else. Maybe they don't want to come to Earth. Like they look down. They're like, nah, we're good. 3I Atlas. We'll get to sports in a bit. Some Puddle of Mud as well. Right now, the Pretty Reckless.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Right now, some people, not all, some people hate Matt LaFleur. Want him gone. Coaching for his job, they say, the rest of this season. Packers started out okay. The weird tie with the Cowboys. Some shocking losses to teams that they got no business losing to. Now, the loss to the Eagles, that's not a shocking loss. It was just ugly. Monday Night Football wrapping up Week 10 in the NFL. Packers, of course, losing to the Eagles 10-7.
3 misses over the last 2 games for McManus. Here we go. Snap was low and the kick no chance. And this game belongs to Philadelphia as they win it 10-7. And Nick Sirianni able to breathe a sigh of relief as the 2 head coaches come together at midfield. They went for it on 4th down. The Eagles did, and they lived to tell with a 3-point win.
Packers losing 10-7 last night. Real boring game. It's Green Bay's 2nd straight loss. They're now 5-3-1, and they're in 3rd place in the NFC North behind the Lions and the Bears. Packers, who had the NFC's best record before their loss to Carolina 2 weeks ago, would have the conference's 7th and final playoff seed if the regular season ended right now. Obviously, that's not the case. There's still plenty of games left, but they got to right this ship. And we'll talk more about that with Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show after 8 a.m. Week 11 kicks off Thursday night with the Jets at My Patriots, 7:15 on Amazon Prime.
Let's go!
Oh, yes, Tom Brady, let's go. Chicago is at Minnesota on Sunday at noon.
The Bears.
And the Packers and Giants will battle it out in New York. On Sunday at noon, Lions will be in Philly. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Bucks beat the Mavericks last night in Dallas, 116-114. The Bucks are off tonight. They're in Charlotte tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Badger men's basketball ranked 24th, welcoming in unranked Ball State tonight. 7:30 tip on the Big Ten Network. Joe Burrow back at practice for the Cincinnati Bengals. Hasn't played since week 2. Had to have surgery to repair a turf toe on his left foot. Been on the IR since September 16th. Yesterday was the opening of the 21-day period during which he can begin limited practice with the team without counting against the 53-man active roster, yada, 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 yada. Giants firing their head coach, Brian Daboll, after the team blew another double-digit lead on Sunday in Chicago. The second time this season that they've lost after leading by at least 10 points or more with under 4 minutes remaining in the game. So, yeah, they fired his ass, and the rumor mill already starting with talk of Bill Belichick returning to the NFL to coach the Giants next year. I don't see that happening. It's been an absolute unmitigated disaster for Belichick in North Carolina, so I don't see why the Giants would make that leap. I think they want to go somebody younger that's going to be around for a while, but you never know. NFL suspending Daron Payne for a game after the Commanders' defensive lineman punched the Lions receiver Ross St. Brown on Sunday. Why are we again, I never understand this. Why are we hitting guys with helmets on their heads? I mean, he takes a swing at him. He tries to go low, below the helmet, get him in the neck somewhere, but he still hit him in the helmet. It seems like that would be worse for your hand than the guy's head. Not smart. Athletics first baseman Nick Kurtz, the A's, for as bad as they are, won the Rookie of the Year award. He was the unanimous choice for the American League Rookie of the Year award. Braves catcher Drake Baldwin took home the honors in the NL. As we'll see the postseason awards continue to trickle out for Major League Baseball over the next couple of days and weeks. And speaking of baseball, we talked about this yesterday, the new gambling allegations. A couple of pitchers are in some hot water after they were apparently allowing or giving knowledge to people, bettors, on individual pitches, in-game betting. Prominent U.S. sportsbooks now establishing a nationwide $200 betting limit specifically on baseball wagers centered on individual pitches and prohibiting such bets from being included in parlays in an attempt to decrease the incentive for manipulation. Obviously, if you gamble a lot on these sports books and the apps and all that stuff, you probably understand this a little better than I do, but Major League Baseball been in discussions with its authorized sportsbook partners about potential changes to betting menus and limits since summertime after unusual wagering was detected on individual pitches by Guardians starter Luis Ortiz in a pair of games back in June. They say that reducing the amount that bettors can win on such markets will de-incentivize attempts at manipulation. Well, yeah. Take away the pitcher's ability to manipulate the situation, lower the payouts and the bets and all that stuff. Hopefully that will decrease these people that are doing illegal stuff in the realm of baseball. Probably going to have to start doing that in some other sports as well. Veterans Day is here, and we'll get to some deals that you can take advantage of on Veterans Day. A bit later on, we'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. And as I mentioned, Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show is going to join me just after 8 a.m., so don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Veterans of the blue and the gray, I accept this monument in the spirit of brotherhood and peace.
There can be no greater service to our country and no source of pride more real.
Today, Veterans Day, as we do every year, we take that moment to embrace the gentle heroes of Vietnam and of all our wars.
As our forces fight, they and their families are in our prayers.
The brave Americans serving our nation today in the Persian Gulf, in Somalia, and wherever else they stand are testament to our resolve.
They deserve to know that their elected leaders who voted to send them to war continue to stand behind them.
So thank you for your service and your sacrifice.
You are among the very greatest Americans who will ever live. You are the pride of our nation. You are the glory of our republic. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Veterans Day is here, 11/11. Lots of deals to be taken advantage of just for veterans and their families. Some of them include active military members. We'll get to that list a bit later on. Reminder that there is a free veterans breakfast at the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire today, starting in just about 15 minutes. Goes till about 10:30. And it's free for all veterans. Again, 7 to 10:30 at the VFW Post 305 today. Dancing with the Stars, new episode tonight on ABC. Tom Bergeron is back on the show. First time since he got fired several years ago. He's going to be a guest judge and help his friends celebrate the show's 20th anniversary. But Tom Bergeron back on Dancing with the Stars after several years of not being a part of that. Said that if the leadership team that was there when he got fired was still in charge, he wouldn't be back. So obviously there was a difference of opinion. But Dancing with the Stars, new episode on ABC. Meanwhile, on NBC, it's Coast to Coast Tuesday. Back-to-back NBA games on NBC tonight. The first one is the 76ers hosting the Celtics. That's a 7 o'clock tip. And then the late game will be the Kings hosting the Nuggets at 10 o'clock. NBA on NBC with Coast to Coast Tuesdays. Also on ABC tonight, after Dancing with the Stars, a 2020 special, The Golden Girls. 40 years of laughter and friendship. That starts at 9 o'clock. Obviously, a look back at a show that many people love, myself included. The Golden Girls, 40 years of laughter and friendship. That's a 2020 special on ABC tonight. Also on TV, you've got new episodes of NCIS Origins, NCIS, and NCIS Sydney. Fallon is new tonight with Miles Teller and Hardy. Yeah, bro country rap rock guy. Yeah. Oh, I'll be up so late. I can't wait to see Hardy. Not. I have zero desire to watch that guy. But if you care about Hardy and you want to stay up late, he's going to be performing on Jimmy Fallon's show. Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel's new with Eddie Murphy. He's got a new special coming out on Netflix this week called Being Eddie. Talks about his life. Also on Kimmel tonight, Morgan Fairchild and Men at Work. There you go. There's something to stay up late for. Claire Danes and Representative James Clyburn going to be on with Stephen Colbert. Seth Meyers new with Joel Edgerton, Elle Fanning, and Edgar Wright. That's what's on the Boob Tube tonight. If you want to pick up a movie on your way home for New Release Tuesday, Freakier Friday. is available, rated PG, starring Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis, Mark Harmon, Chad Michael Murray. 22 years after they originally swapped, more people are swapping. It's a swap-a-rama with Freakier Friday.
Morning. Happy wedding week. You have a lot on your plate. Let us know how we can help.
Maybe someone could help me write my wedding vows. How about this?
I, Anna, take you, Eric, a man whose daughter is a little demon thing with an obnoxious accent.
What is taking so long? We wouldn't want to be off schedule.
Freakier Friday on DVD for new release Tuesday, rated PG. Also rated PG and new today on DVD is The Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson, Pam Anderson, CCH Pounder, Cody Rhodes, Busta Rhymes, Weird Al, Priscilla Presley. A whole bunch of people in there. Liam Neeson following in his father's footsteps. Frank Drebin's kid is now trying to save his police department.
Who are you?
Drebin. Detective Frank Drebin.
And you, Frank, are the best of the best.
Says you served 20 years for man's laughter.
You mean manslaughter?
Must have been quite the joke. Nobody messes with Police Squad.
That's the sound of the police. Yeah. Naked Gun, PG, Liam Neeson, Pam Anderson. Also new on new release Tuesday, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, rated PG, Dominic West, Elizabeth McGovern, Paul Giamatti. If you watch that show, you know what it's. I have no idea what it's. It's like rich people, right? In England, something like that. Is that what it's about? Also on DVD today, Him, rated R, starring Marlon Wayans and Tyreek Withers, Julia Fox in that one. This is about the quarterback guy who goes to train with a legendary champion, and things go awry.
What am I willing to sacrifice? This is everything. Do you want this? What are you willing to sacrifice? And show me.
Yeah, Him, rated R, Marlon Wayans, football. Trailer looked okay. Also on DVD today for new release Tuesday, Together, rated R, starring Dave Franco and Allison Brie. Crossroads for a couple. Years into their relationship, move to the country, eat a lot of peaches. No. Tensions already flaring. Encounter with an unnatural force threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. Ooh. Caught Stealing. That's also on DVD today, rated R. Austin Butler, Action Bronson, Zoe Kravitz, Regina King, Liev Schreiber. Former baseball player Hank Thompson finds himself in a dangerous struggle for survival amidst the criminal underbelly of the 90s in New York City. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. That's also new on new release Tuesday. That is rated R. The band getting back together after a 15-year break for one final concert. Season 8 of Rick and Morty, also on DVD today for new release Tuesday. And The Morning Show, seasons 1 and 2. They're having a box set of those two shows. So that's what's on the boob tube tonight and what's new on new release Tuesday. Also got a text from Alex who said, Happy Tuesday. It's Riverfront Revolt Announcement Day. It is. That announcement coming at 11 a.m., by the way. Riverfront Revolt at the Lacrosse Center. All the details, the bands, the lineup, all that stuff. Tickets, info, we'll have all that for you at 11 a.m. Right now, it's Weezer.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The boys, those beastie boys. Got a text from Cooch. It's a hell of a name. Cooch said, between 7:45 and 8:15, can you play 11:11 by Dinosaur Pileup? Taking my kid to school. It's his birthday. Go Cooch Jr. Yeah, I could probably do that sometime between 7:45 and 8:15. Thanks, Cooch. Appreciate the text message. Also, Alex texting in a little while ago. saying, Happy Tuesday, happy Riverfront Revolt Announcement Day. Yes, that'll be later on this morning. Said he has his theories on who's performing based on what the Lacrosse Center has posted. Yeah, it's, you might be able to do some sleuthing and figure out some of it, but maybe not all of it. And we'll have all that information a bit later on this morning. So thanks, Alex, and thanks, Cooch. Appreciate it. When I was growing up, my parents, when I was about 16 years old, we stopped going camping during the summers. We'd go to a lake, had a camper, boat, the whole 9 yards. But for some reason, when I turned about 16, we stopped going camping. And my parents put in a pool in the backyard, in-ground pool. It was great. I loved it. Friends would come over. We'd go swimming all summer long. It was just kind of weird because neither of my parents really were much into swimming. But for some reason, wanted to put the pool in, so they did. And never had any animals in the pool. Not that I can remember. No ducks, no birds, no geese, no moose, no deer, no rats, no skunks, no beavers, no alligators, nothing. I don't remember a single animal ending up in our pool. No frogs, no lizards, no snakes. I mean, you get a spider or two, obviously, but nothing in terms of like, a big giant animal in the pool. But obviously, if you live in the South, in the Florida area, you're going to have your pool indoors, essentially, to keep the gators out of your pool. A lot of my friends who live down there, they got those screened-in pools to keep the animals out. Same thing in, like, Arizona. You see places where they've got the pool in, like, an outdoor screened-in room. Keep those animals out of there. Horses, apparently, can end up in swimming pools every once in a while. And a couple of weeks ago, a police officer in Kentucky had to use a garden hose to make a makeshift lasso to help get this horse out of the swimming pool.
All four legs were stuck through the cover, and they were thrashing about.
You know how long the horse could hold his head above water. So I composed the lasso, and me and my sergeant lassoed the horse and pulled him over to the stairs, and he walked right out.
Yeah. There we go. Come this way, baby.
I did tell my sergeant that they're going to take my gun and issue me a lasso.
Give that guy a lasso. He's the new lasso cop in Kentucky. Come home one day and all of a sudden there's a horse in your pool in the backyard. This guy shows up and can't get the horse to go over to the side where the steps are, so he gets a lasso, gets it around the horse, and drags it over there. Also, there was a horse in a pool in Virginia recently. Firefighters coming to the rescue. 900-pound horse fell into a pool. They built a ramp in the water. Wrapped the horse with a harness, pulled it up the ramp to dry land. So apparently there's a horse in pool epidemic. 2 different occasions recently where horses are ending up in pools. Got to build a ramp in the water. Again, never had any animals in our pool. Had a bunch of friends come over, tried to get all the water out of the pool, but never had any animals. Never, not once. Veterans Day today. We'll go over some Veterans Day deals that you should and could take advantage of if you are a veteran. Don't forget our breakfast at the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire has begun. Free Veterans Breakfast goes till 10:30.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Today is Veterans Day.
Thank you for your service.
The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines,
and the Coast Guard. Thank you for your service.
Today is Veterans Day.
Thank you for your service.
A day to honor all military service members.
Honor military servicemen and women.
Service and sacrifice.
Risk their lives for their country.
Thank you for your service.
So let's say a big thank you to all the veterans.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yes, it is, in fact, Veterans Day today, and that means lots and lots of deals and freebies. Naomi texted in, said, thank you, veterans, for your service and sacrifice to our country. Breakfast at the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire this morning, free for veterans until 10:30. Stop by, have some free breakfast. Lots of other places, especially, obviously, national chains offering up freebies. discounted meals, things like that. Applebee's for veterans and active duty military, including reservists and National Guard members. Get a free full-size entree from an exclusive Veterans Day menu at Applebee's, made up of 7 of their most popular menu items, such as the classic bacon cheeseburger and double crunch shrimp. That's today. A free full-size entree at Applebee's for veterans and active duty military, including reservists and National Guard members. Chipotle. Members of the military community, including veterans and active duty military personnel with a valid military ID, who order any entree, get a second entree for free from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. local time on Veterans Day. That's Chipotle. Krispy Kreme says that veterans and active duty military personnel get a free small hot or iced coffee and a free donut of their choice today, Veterans Day, November 11th. The deal is good in shops and at their drive-thrus. No other purchase necessary. Limit 1 per guest. Starbucks, if that's more your jam. On Veterans Day, Starbucks will give veterans, service members, and military spouses a free tall 12-ounce brewed coffee, hot or iced, at their participating stores in the U.S. Cold brew is not included. Cafes and drive-thru only. Arby's. We have the meats at Arby's on Veterans Day. All veterans and active duty military service members can get a free classic roast beef sandwich at the 360-plus Arby's locations owned by the Flynn Group. Offer good in-store, no other purchase necessary. Show your valid military ID or proof of U.S. military service to get the deal. At B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings, again, national chains offering up a lot of freebies and discounted meals for veterans on Veterans Day. I highly recommend you take advantage of these deals. You earn them. I know it can be weird to go in and be like, hey, I'd like my free meal. But don't feel bad. Don't feel weird. Go and get it, man. B-Dubs says that all past and present armed service members get 10 free boneless wings and fries with a valid military ID on Veterans Day. Offer is good for dine-in and walk-in at participating locations. Famous Dave's, you want to get some BBQ up in your grill? Military personnel, veterans get a free Georgia chopped pork sandwich lunch with your choice of side on Veterans Day. Got to use a code, Veteran25 at checkout, if you want to take advantage of that deal. Fazoli's says that veterans and active duty military get a free spaghetti with marinara or meat sauce. When dining in, use the code VET25. Present your valid military ID to take advantage of that. And Outback Steakhouse, yesterday and today, the U.S. Marine Corps birthday yesterday. Today, of course, Veterans Day. Those valid veterans with their ID, military ID, active duty military IDs can get a free Aussie 3-course meal. Offer good for select entrees, dine-in only. Tons of other freebies and offers. Obviously, lots of local restaurants also doing stuff. National chains hooking you up with some freebies. Take advantage of them, please. And don't forget, some stuff might not be open today because it is Veterans Day. What is it, like banks and federal offices, right? Are the big ones? If you do have plans to try to get something accomplished, something official, something businessy, you may need to call ahead and find out if that office is open. But thank you very much. Thank a veteran today, every single day. And if you are a veteran, please try to take advantage of some of those deals. They are there for you. You earned them. Take advantage of them. Got a text. Officer Lozano said that Canine Rock is turning 8 years old today. Feeling a little disturbed, unstoppable. He's going to celebrate his 8th birthday with a very nice steak tonight. Ooh, hell yeah. Happy birthday to La Crosse Police Officer, Canine Officer Rock, who celebrates his birthday today with a nice steak tonight. Here's that Disturbed.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Week 10 in the NFL wrapping up last night with that disastrous game from the Packers. I wisely chose the Eagles to beat the Packers on Monday Night Football, and I was correct. Gene, of course, the homer. Going with the Packers to beat the Eagles, she was incorrect. And that was definitely not the only time that Gene got it wrong this week with our pigskin picks. Making a bet at the beginning of the season between the two of us to see who finishes with the best record, straight up picking games throughout the entire NFL season. On the line is seafood paella for me. For Gene, it's I have to grow my hair out for 2 months. See, years ago when I was going to get my colon resection, I was very nervous, obviously, going on the slab. Had never had a major operation before. And Gene, to try to calm me down, offered to cook me seafood paella. She asked me if I would like her to make anything for me, and I said, yeah, seafood paella, which is a delicious Spanish rice dish with seafood, shrimp, and steamers and mussels and all sorts of different stuff. You can put all chicken, lobster, you can put whatever in there, but it is a delicious meal, and she never made it. She never did it. She never did it. So she owes me, and that was 14 years ago, I think. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. And Gene finds my reaction to my hair growing apparently funny and humiliating, so that's why she wants me to grow my hair out, because I have a weird bald spot in the back. And the last time I tried to grow my hair out, I was very upset that she didn't tell me it was really bad. As of right now, I'm thoroughly in the lead, and after week 10, it only got worse for Gene. She finished up her week 10 pigskin picks with a 7-7 record. Ya boy, finishing 10-4, increasing my lead on her in our Pigskin Picks Challenge. I've now got an overall record of 99-49. She's got an overall record of 81-67. I'm absolutely throttling her. She got Denver over Vegas. We both got that one right. We both picked the Colts over Atlanta. We both got that one right. Somehow, New Orleans got a win over Carolina. And I, of course, smartly picked the Panthers to win that game, and then she picked the Saints because she loves New Orleans and Drew Brees. But somehow New Orleans got a win there, so I got that one wrong. Bears, we both picked the Bears over the Giants. Gene was correct picking Houston to beat Jacksonville. I took Jacksonville in that one. I was wrong there. We were both wrong on Buffalo. Somehow Miami beating Buffalo on Sunday, so we both got that one wrong. I correctly picked Baltimore to beat Minnesota. Gene took the Vikings. Not sure why, being that she's a Packer fan. She also got Cleveland wrong. Somehow the Jets got a win over the Browns. I also incorrectly picked the Browns to win. And then the rest of the week, I got all the picks right. I picked New England over Tampa Bay. I got Seattle over Arizona. The Rams over the 49ers. Detroit over Washington. Chargers over the Steelers. And then Philly over Green Bay. She incorrectly picked the Patriots game because she hates the Pats. She also did not get San Fran, Pittsburgh, or Green Bay. So right now, I am, again, thoroughly in the lead. No signs of Gene trying to catch up here. She finishes week 10, 7-7. I finished with a 10-4 record. Throttling her. It's a beatdown. And it's only getting worse. So far, she has not had 1 week where she had a better record than I did. We did finish tied 1 week, but I'm so far ahead. I've got her by the toes. She's got no chance. No chance of catching up. Pigskin picks, Gene and I, back and forth. We had to make 3 weeks of picks because she went to Europe for a couple weeks. So we'll take a look at our Week 11 picks tomorrow as Week 11 kicks off on Thursday night with the Patriots and the Jets. Going to be talking to Billy Gardell, actor and stand-up comedian. Going to be at the Pablo Center in January. It'll be on January 30th. And we'll talk to him in just a couple of minutes. Also going to talk to Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show. Bad news, happy music, lots to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. You know him from Mike and Molly and Bob Hart's Abishola and probably a whole bunch of other stuff. Young Sheldon. His name is Billy Gardell, and he's on the phone with me right now. Billy, how are you, sir?
Hey, Brian. How are you, man? Thanks for having me on this morning.
Yeah, very pleased to have you on. In fact, I want to thank you because it seems like you're a guy who supports radio, and you don't see a lot of people that do that anymore.
I absolutely do. I live on Earth One, brother.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to have you on the phone. Billy Gardell, the star of so many different things, whether it's Mike and Molly or Bob Hart's Abishola, Young Sheldon, Bad Santa back in the day. I mean, like you've got a pretty impressive career, but you're not just an actor. You're also a stand-up comedian, which is what we're going to talk about this morning, and that's your show at the Pablo coming up at the end of January. So tell me about stand-up, because it seems like you kind of started out with that, right?
Well, I did. I started out as a stand-up comic in 1987, and then I did the road for about 9 years on the East Coast, Midwest, Northeast, Southeast, just driving gig to gig to gig, and then made the move to L.A. in about 96, 97, and then kept doing stand-up and then trying to get auditions, and 10 years of that. I guess it was about 22 years doing overnight success, but stand-up was always my first love and actually the thing that brought me to everything else. And I've kind of found my love for it again and wanted to get back out on the road and play some theaters that have been around for a while because I'm kind of I like the history of that stuff. And so I put together this tour with Outback and Levity Management, who's my management team now. And for the last year, I've been in the clubs working on this hour, and now we're ready to put it up on the boards, and I'm very excited to be touring again.
Billy Gardell on the phone with us talking about his Less is More tour. Is that obviously a reference to the weight loss, or is there something else in there?
I think it works for the weight loss because, I went on Mike and Molly. I was very heavy and everything was fine. And then Bob Hart's Abishola came along. And sometimes art imitates life. That show starts with a guy having a heart attack and having to get healthier. And I was in that place where I had to get healthy. I hadn't had a heart attack, but I was probably headed that way, so it was time to make a big change. And so Less is More refers to, yes, the weight loss, but also where we're at in this world. We're too busy with too much stuff. We're staring at the phone too long. Sometimes those moments you absorb with your eyes, your ears, and your heart, we need to get back to having those, having just a moment of reflection, a moment of communal exchange, a moment of peace. There's too much stuff. There's too much stuff. So it kind of refers to that as well.
The Less is More tour with Billy Gardell at the Pablo Center in Eau Claire on Friday, January 30th. Tickets available on your website, billygardell.com. You can obviously go to the Pablo website, too, if you want to find them. But they're also very affordable. I was looking this morning. It looked like anywhere between $50 to $100, depending on where you want to sit, if you want to be close to the stage. You don't have to worry too much about any Gallagher props, right, when you're out there? We don't have to worry about smashed watermelons or anything?
No, I'm not smashing nothing. I'm just using my words. And I also like to keep my ticket prices affordable for people, especially right now, And my gig is to just try to come in there and make you forget your problems for an hour with some laughter and get us in a room where we're together again as humans and laughing. And my stuff is based on, being married for 25 years, obviously my weight loss and, having a 22-year-old, and I root for these kids. I think it's low-hanging fruit to rip on this generation. I think they need our guidance, and I think at the end of the day, Gen X will be standing, and we'll probably be being looked to for direction, even though we never knew what the hell we were doing. And then the last part of my act is really an homage to my father, who was my hero.
Billy Gardell on the phone with me. Is this, you said about an hour, is this being filmed for a special, or are you working on a special? Because you've had a few.
Hopefully we will work into that, yeah. I want to do the tour. The tour goes from January to March, and I want to make sure it's polished and sharp. And once I feel it's where it's at, then we're going to try to head for a special after that. So come out and see it before it's a special.
Yeah, you can get your tickets on your website, again, billygardell.com. Can you tell me any, you must have some roles that you have turned down that have gone on to be, big. Not so much a role you didn't get, but a role maybe you turned down that didn't work out for you, whether it was time or maybe you didn't like the writing. Is there anything like that in your acting history?
No, I was never I never got up into that, level where they're just handing you roles. That kind of eluded me. And when I was on television, I was on for such long runs that I was kind of busy with that. Like when I got Mike and Molly, that went 5.5 years, 128 episodes. So that was every day. And then, I had a little break in between there where I did a dramatic series called Sun Records, where I got to play Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis's manager. Mm-hmm. And that's streaming on Paramount right now, which was really beautifully done. That was a season. And that's where I found out I could do dramatic acting. And then Bob Hart-Sabashola came right after that. So I was never really... I was blessed enough to always have long-term jobs, so I don't really have any stories where I was like, I turned that down and I wish I could have been Superman. That never happened to me. So I was lucky enough to hit these long-term jobs. One job I didn't get that I wish I would have was way back in the day I auditioned for a movie called Almost Famous, and it's just a brilliant film. And Philip Seymour Hoffman ended up getting the role, and I remember I had made it past casting, and then I had gotten to producers, and then I was actually on my way to go read for Cameron Crowe. And as I was driving over to the audition, my agent called and he said, listen, they've offered that to Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's going to take that role, so you can just go back home. And at the time, I didn't know who that was. I was like, who's this guy, Philip Seymour Hoffman? Why is he getting it? And then a year later, the movie came out, and I saw the performance. I went, oh, yeah, okay, that's why. He's good. He's better than me.
May he rest in peace. He certainly was a very good actor, a brilliant actor.
Brilliant actor.
Do you like working in TV more than films?
I got into little parts in films. I think I'm a television guy. I just that seems to be, you end up where you end up. And the TV door was very friendly to me. I got in a couple little movies. I had a little bit part, like you said earlier, in Bad Santa, and Billy Bob Thornton was really cool with me. That was really the first film role I'd had. And he let me improv that with him, which was awesome. He was very giving, very cool. And then I did I did a little bit part in You, Me, and Dupree. I got to actually do a scene with Harry Dean Stanton, another great character actor. And then I did some that just opened and closed on the same flight. I did a movie with Sylvester Stallone called Avenging Angelo, and Anthony Quinn's last film, but I never did a movie that went big mainstream. And, hopefully I'll be able to get some character parts now that I'm a little older and a little thinner. I can be the frustrated police captain or the guy at work that gives you the information or the bad guy. I'm looking to try to do those roles. But like I said, I was very lucky in the TV world more than film. So I really love TV. I'm a TV guy.
Billy Gardell on the phone with me here talking about the Less is More tour. You can go to his website, billygardell.com, and see how to buy tickets for the show on Friday, January 30th at the Pablo Center in Eau Claire. It's going to be a hilarious time, and you talk about, obviously, the funny stuff in your life, your marriage, your kids, your life in general, and it's weird because you get married and you're like, this is great, I love my wife, and then you realize 10 years in, oh my God, this is the most hilarious ride I've ever been on. It's crazy, it's wild, and that's where all your comedy comes from, is real life experiences.
Yeah, I always think that that's the thing that connects us, is shared experience. And, you're really hitting a chord when you see people in the audience kind of elbow each other and go, you do that, and that's the stuff that I go for. I think that's the sweet spot.
Billy, what's going to happen to the Steelers? Are they obviously Aaron Rodgers is gone after this year. They've been this team that always gets into the playoffs. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm originally from New England, so I apologize. But
no, you got to be pretty happy right now. You guys, Vrabel's they've taken on his personality. He played for the Steelers and the Patriots. That guy knows how to go to work.
Braves is the man.
He really, really has. My Steelers, I don't know, man. We're in flux. We beat the best offense in the league last week, and then we lost to San Diego last night. L.A. last night. So this team's Jekyll and Hyde, man. I don't know what's going to show up every week. But, they're my team, so I show up and I put my shirt on and I scream and I hope for the best.
Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I wish you the best of luck with the Steelers in the future.
You too, brother. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
And
I really appreciate it.
Look forward to seeing you on Friday, the 30th of January at the Pablo Center. Go to BillyGardell.com for tickets and info on the Billy Gardell Less is More Tour. Have a great rest of your day, dude.
That's it. You too, man. Thanks for your time.
Billy Gardell joining me on the phone, talking about his upcoming performance at the Pablo Center on Friday, January 30th. Lots of great seats still available, including seats right up front. You can go to BillyGardell.com for more info on the tour, more info on Billy, and for tickets to see him at the Pablo. Grant Bill's going to join me in just a bit as well. Also, Bad News, Happy Music later on. Right now, Chabelle.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
8:15-ish on Tuesdays. We are joined by the hosts of the Wisco Sports Show, the one and only Grant Bilse. You can hear Grant Bilse on the Wisco Sports Show weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on stations like WKTY in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire. And if you try to call him, he gets really mad and puts you on hold, and you don't get a chance to talk about Tom Brady.
That's not true. Wait, do you want me to go now? That's not true. Anybody can get on at any time. I don't even have a call screener. I have no recourse to block anyone or any topic when they call.
I heard you saying disparaging things about the greatest American of all time, Tom Edward Brady. And I tried to call in,
his dog?
And I never got a chance to rebut. I never got a rebuttal.
Okay, so rebut. Your quarterback is a lizard, but your former quarterback is a weirdo and a lizard person. He kisses his kids on the mouth, and he clones his dog. He's a great quarterback, never disputed that. But the person is weird, Simpson. Like, you got to even admit that, right?
He does not take ayahuasca trips in the darkness of the jungle or eat mud balls with his random girlfriends and make up wives that don't exist.
For whatever reason, I actually think the things that Aaron Rodgers does are more normal than the things that Tom Brady does. I think doing drugs outside is more relatable than cloning your dog and eating avocado ice cream with your quote-unquote trainer, your physical trainer. Again, I will put in quotes if you can't see me. It's on
if you're going to invest in a company with a lot of your money and your fame and your time and your effort, you have to be able to endorse the product. So, yeah, of course he's going to clone his dog. And who doesn't want to get that great dog back that you loved so much? I have a dog that I loved. I'd love to have it back again. It was wonderful. Not that I don't love my current dogs.
It's a different dog. And there's plenty of dogs that need to be rescued. And also, Tom Brady, stop investing in weird, shady companies, whether it be crypto or cloning or all this stuff. Just be normal. Just be a normal person. That's all I'm asking of Tom.
How is he going to live forever if he doesn't get into this cloning game? That's how it's happening.
I think that's part of it. I think that, see, now you're getting at the root of the issue here. There's something going on there.
Tom Brady forever. Grant Bilse, let's get to the matter at hand. The Packers suck. They are in third place in the NFC North, and they are seventh in the playoff seeding in the NFC. They are on the outside looking in, essentially, right now, and they can't score diddly-poo the last 2 weeks against, let's be honest, the Eagles are a much better team than the Panthers, and they didn't look all that great last night. But what the hell is going on? When are we firing LaFleur?
Well, I don't know. I have not been very happy with LaFleur, but I got to point out, and I talked about this on my show yesterday, I think it's a little unfair for Packers fans to be expecting the Packers to hang 40 points every week. Their O-line stinks. They lost their most important player on offense and their best pass catcher in Tucker Kraft. Their remaining group of guys is Christian Watson coming back off a knee injury, Dontavian Wicks, who's missed most of the season with a calf, Matthew Golden is hurt, Savion Williams played but is hurt and isn't good. I just don't think their personnel on offense is that good. And teams have figured them out. Teams have realized, well, look, we're just going to sit in too high, and we don't need to load the box because you can't run the ball, because you can't block, because your O-line stinks. So we'll sit back and prevent the big plays, which is what you want, and we'll still stop the run because you stink at it. And Matt LaFleur the last couple of weeks has really not found a way around that. Now, he's limited, again, with his personnel, but lots of coaches are limited with their personnel. You know what I mean? How many times have we seen Shanahan or McVay or cook up a game plan on a short week when everybody thinks they're cooked? And then the coach, what a brilliant game plan. We just haven't really seen that from Matt LaFleur the last couple of weeks. And Jordan Love is good for one boner a game as well, although I don't think that's the reason they lost yesterday. It's certainly part of the story, and you have to mention it.
Well, it doesn't get any easier either. I mean, now you look at the rest of the schedule, and you're like, boy, they're probably going to beat the Giants, and then after that, who the hell are they going to beat? Because they've got Detroit, they got Chicago twice, Denver in Mile High, then Baltimore, and a couple of games against the Vikings, which, a division game, you never know how that's going to pan out for you. So it doesn't look like it's going to get any easier for the Packers.
I'm just not a fan of prognosticating a schedule weeks and weeks and weeks out, because it's so easy when you've won a couple in a row to look forward and say, well, find the next loss. They're about to win 4 or 5 more in a row. And when you do that, then they start losing. And I think the inverse is true, that sometimes you look at the schedule and say, oh, my God. When's the next game they're going to win? They're not going to be favored in any of these things. And then your team goes and wins 3 or 4 in a row. That's kind of how the sport works. So you're right. Those games could be really challenging. I think it's more about the Packers. Are they going to figure out some things on offense? And is Jordan Love going to have a real hot stretch down the final 2 months of the season? If so, then I think they can beat plenty of these teams and win plenty of these games. And if not, I'm not convinced it matters who the opponent is, and I think the last 8 days is evidence of that.
Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, joining us each and every Tuesday at about 8:15. You can hear the Wisco Sports Show weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on stations all across the state like WKTY in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire. The Badger men's basketball team off to a good start. They're 2-0. They play tonight at home against unranked Ball State. Is there anything there that you're seeing? Is there anything you're watching with is it too early? Are you just sort of kind of checking in a little bit, or are you deeply involved and invested?
Well, I'm deeply involved. Badger basketball is one of my favorite things. The problem is a lot of these early season games are on Big Ten Plus.
Right.
I barely get Big Ten, let alone Big Ten. I do get Big Ten Network because I have DirecTV, but so the games that have been on, I've watched and I've followed. I think Greg Gard did the thing again. He supplemented his core of players that have developed in the system with a couple of transfers that are old and experienced from around the country who fit really well. Nick Boyd plays with a ton of pace and gets up and down the court really fast, which might be, I don't want to say a better fit than John Tonje because he was unbelievable last year. But this Badgers team wants to play with pace, and they want to get a lot of shots up offensively. Tonje was a slower player. Boyd is a rim runner. So if Blackwell becomes your change of pace, slow down shot creator, and Boyd runs, again, they got a couple 7-footers. They added a player or two in the portal, some shooters. This Aussie guy, I really like how they're building this team year to year. They have their core of guys they're developing. They have freshmen they're bringing up while also supplementing in the portal. I think it's the perfect way to build a team at Wisconsin in this era of college basketball. So, yeah, it's early, and I've watched a little bit, but I think the train is just continuing on from what we saw last year.
On the other side, when it comes to the Badgers, we had a win finally. It was ugly. Yes. It was disgusting. It was beautiful and sunny in the middle of the afternoon. Then it turned into some sort of weird sleet, snow, rain, squall type thing. It was windy. It was brutal. And the fans stormed the field, and I'm not a fan of storming the field. I think it's overrated. However, when you've lost 6 in a row and you've got no real positivity going on other than the partying that happens on State Street, the Badger fans reacting to the win on Saturday, what's your take from that, Grant?
Yeah, no problem with the field storming at all. I don't think there's a program and a group of players and coaches and fans that have ever needed a win worse than that group. So I have no problem with it at all. I think the most exciting part of the game is the 2 young linebackers, Cooper Catalano, who's a Germantown guy, Mason Posa, who's probably been Luke Fickell's premier recruit. That's his guy, a 4-time state champ in wrestling from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Those 2 true freshman linebackers combined for 30 tackles. They've just been on a tear these last few games. So that's the football thing you can circle and say, okay, maybe they build around that. The offense was hideous by both teams. It didn't even matter. I mean, the Badgers' leading passer was their punter.
Yeah.
And Washington's quarterback was no better. It was drop back, look around, and then run. It was Pop Warner. But isn't that the beauty of college football sometimes? In this hideous game, in this hideous weather, on Big Ten Network, no one's watching. You have this great signature moment for a program that probably hasn't had one in years. And it's a game that, in a weird way, we'll probably all remember for a little while. So I don't know. Sometimes that's the fun of college football.
And it also comes on the heels of them basically, letting everyone know that Fickell's not going anywhere.
Correct. Yeah, McIntosh meeting with select reporters, one-on-ones. It was not an open press conference. I think I would have preferred that, but whatever. We'll take what we can get. And explaining that they're going to be more involved, and they're aligned. He explained the alignment in the program from top to bottom, which I heard. It's like, well, I don't really care if you guys are friends. Like, I don't care if you're buddy-buddy with the chancellor. Like, just build a winning program. But they're aligned, and they're going to invest, and we don't have specifics, blah, 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 blah. Mostly that was signaling to recruits and players in the locker room, like, yeah, this guy's going to be here. So don't go into the final month of the season calling around or looking around or thinking that, you're going to have to leave because Luke Fickell's on his way out. That's about the only, I think, purpose that served, and to piss off the fan base. Luckily, they got the win on Saturday.
The win certainly helped. Grant Bilse on the phone with me again, talking about Wisconsin sports, whether it's Packers. Bucks are doing okay. Too early in the season to really put much stock into them right now, or how are you feeling about the Bucks?
They're fine. They're checking all the boxes I need to see in early November. I'll watch a game or two a week if nothing's going on. I'm not going to split screen during the Packer game last night. They played the Mavericks. But the couple games I've watched, I have enjoyed. They look younger and faster. Miles Turner seems to fit very well. Giannis is playing like a man possessed. That's all I need to see in early November. So we'll, check back in and you start to lock in as the season kind of evolves. Although the midseason tournament is going on, which I find very interesting considering the season just started. And again, if it's the midseason tournament, do it in like January or February when we're all bored. But
I can't. I don't care. Other that court, was it the Minnesota court, the lime green one?
Ugh.
Oh my God, dude! Stop it with the fancy courts. All right, let's just. Okay, you want to do a stupid tournament thing? I don't care about it. Maybe it helps with the betting. The millennials probably like it. It's some sort of soccer-based tournament that I don't grasp. It doesn't mean anything in the long run in terms of your ability to win the actual NBA championship at the end of the season, which is what it's really all about. But the court thing, that thing was hideous, right? We can admit that was hideous, the Minnesota court.
Oh, the Minnesota court was awful. But, you say it doesn't mean anything. That's coming from a fan of a team that's never won one before. So I don't know that you're in a position to say anything like that.
Dude, I don't think I could care less about this in-season term. First of all, I don't understand how it works. It makes no sense to me.
It's easy to say you don't care about it when your team's never won it. I just find that very convenient. That's all I'm saying.
Is that like you saying you don't care about the World Series?
I've never said I don't care about the World Series. I would love very much to see my team win a World Series. I hope to see one day. I'll be genuine.
Well, it's easy to say that you care about it when your team's never won one.
That's the opposite of what I'm telling you. I'm not sure how that we can move on. It's fine. I don't need to argue about the in-season tournament. Maybe the Celtics will win one day, and then we'll have something to talk about.
All right, let's talk about something a bit serious. Gambling. What a problem. We've got some major sports here, some major issues. You've got obviously the gambling scandal in the NBA with Chauncey Billups and several players. His gambling was more, like underground casinos with mafia people. But now we've got two pitchers in Major League Baseball, a starter for the Cleveland Guardians, who was influencing pitches. Apparently, I didn't realize you could even bet pitch by pitch. We're talking thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. There was, I believe, 6 NCAA players who were now permanently ineligible for playing. The betting companies are now changing the in-game betting apps and all that stuff. How bad is it going to get? We've got UFC fighters saying that they've been approached by people to fix fights. They let one guy go because they think he did fix a fight. It seems like it's getting worse and worse every day.
Well, at least we're not inundated with gambling ads all the time. That would make this worse, right? That would make this much more obnoxious.
Yeah, I never see or hear one on the radio.
Yeah, you gamble all you want. It's not a bad thing.
I don't have any problem with gambling. I enjoy it. I love it. Trust me, I'll sit down at a Spooky Spins and put $2,000 in there. I don't care. What I'm saying, though, is that none of this feels like it's on the up and up. It feels like you don't have any shot. It's already, set up against you if you're just a casual bettor. But now you've got guys that are, like, rigging the system in the game. And they're getting found out, which is, I guess, the good part of it here. And they're getting, let go and publicized and all that stuff. But, I mean, like, this. How do you have any faith that the games are on the up and up?
Well, and that's the biggest danger for any of these sports leagues, is that the fan base or the public loses faith that what they're watching is genuine. That's what sinks a sports league, right? We've had all these scandals, whether it's, concussions in the NFL or like Donald Sterling in the NBA or like whatever. what does one of these leagues in is when the public decides, oh, it's professional wrestling. I don't trust the result that I'm seeing. So this should be the biggest fear of any commissioner in any league. But basketball is interesting. I don't know that it's talked about enough. Like, between Terry Rozier and others, like, the books flagged the stuff the day that it happened. Now, we don't hear about it until months or years later, so we get the impression, oh, it's been going on forever. Well, maybe it happened once or twice, but the way that these legal sports books operate, it's flagged pretty quickly with these prop bets. Like, who's betting hundreds of thousands of dollars on a Jonte Porter over? Like, it's just pretty easy to catch. The baseball ones are the funniest. I don't know that we have a gambling problem. We might have a stupidity problem, Simpson, because someone like Emmanuel Clase, who makes $1 million, or you know, one of these Guardians pitchers, there were more than one, spikes a pitch into the ground for $5,000 when he makes millions and is now facing 60+ years in prison if he's convicted on all felony counts. Like, that's not a gambling problem. You're just an idiot, or you're in a compromising position and the mob has got you in a spot or whatever. I don't know, where, you know, they got you pushed up against a wall where you need to do something. I think this is more of a stupidity, or in the case of the NBA, like a mob issue or a shady character issue than an actual gambling issue.
Great Bills on the phone with me. One last question. Belichick. Dayball got fired by the Giants yesterday. Belichick maybe turning things around there in UNC. They've won their last 2 games after dropping, 4 in a row? So they're 4-5. They're not going anywhere, obviously, but a lot of people thought that Belichick and his crazy girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, were down there waiting for a job in the NFL, and it seems like the perfect fit for him, which is the role that he loves so much, the team he loves. Is he going to make a comeback to the NFL next year?
Why would any NFL team hire this guy?
Because they're crazy? Because they're nuts and they don't care, and they say, hey, we'll just throw some money at Belichick. We'll get him for 2-3 years. Maybe he gets us into the playoffs, and dun, 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 you know?
John Mara, of all people, like, he's the guy who's going to bring this pervert back into the NFL? I don't know. I don't know. Does he get to bring Lombardi with him? What a group of absolute turds down there. Like, this Lombardi guy, man, the more that I read about him and the more stories that come out about, he's making like millions of dollars. And to do what? To type statements on his typewriter and to carry Belichick's lunch around? Like, I don't know, man. I think this is his last coaching stop. I think an NFL owner would have to be real stupid to get into the Belichick business, because you know how it's going to go. They're going to bring him in, and 2 months in, everyone's going to go, oh, this is a huge mistake. And I just don't see an NFL owner doing it, especially John Mara, of all people.
All right. Picking your brain.
Do you want it?
I'm here for the show. I'm here. I want the dinner. I want a dinner and a show. I don't care. It doesn't affect me in the least in terms of what my team's doing or whatever. We got the guy. We got the quarterback. We're good to go. But for the sake of the content of it all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would enjoy it for the content. Jackson Dart, that guy, Mr. Millennial himself being coached by, or Mr. Gen Z himself being coached by Belichick would be pretty entertaining. I'm here for the content. I just don't know why any NFL owner would think, hey, that's actually our best chance to win football games in 2025.
No, I don't think it would be the appropriate choice. I just think it would be the sexy choice. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of all of the chit-chat that would occur if Belichick became the head coach of the Giants.
I would enjoy the chit-chat. I just think they're going to hire someone boring like Mike Kafka, and they're going to continue to be on primetime games, and they'll continue to suck. And we'll continue to suffer as football fans because they're shoved down our throat every Sunday.
Grant Bilse, host of the Wisco Sports Show, each and every Tuesday at about 8:15. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you a week from now.
Nice to chat with you, Simpson, as always. Have a great week.
All right. There he is, the one and only Grant Bilse, the host of the Wisco Sports Show. Bad News, Happy Music is coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some #Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
I'm going to claim ignorance on this one because I'm not a trendy boot person. First of all, I don't wear boots. Second of all, I don't know anything about fashion It's not my jam, but there's a woman in Texas who's going viral right now and being criticized by a lot of people because she's pregnant, and when she gives birth to her daughter, she wants to name the kid after a pair of boots. She apparently named her daughter Lucasey Lynn after her Lucasey cowboy boots. She spelled it differently, but they're pronounced the same. And people on the internet, including her family, are somewhat offended by the name choice. She spells it Lucasey. Lucasey Lynn. The boots, the cowboy boots that she loves so much, are spelled Lucchese. I have no idea about these Lucasey cowboy boots because I don't own or wear cowboy boots, but the woman's name is Kaylee Zach, and she shared a video on TikTok about naming her kid Lucasey Lynn after a name of cowboy boots.
These boots are made for walking.
Yeah. And the comments started pouring in right away. She said the feedback to the name was mixed. 22-year-old from Central Texas said that she and her husband, Clayton, had chosen Lucasey Lynn for their unborn daughter, who will join big brother Kaysen in December. Calling it the most special name to us. So excited for our girl to be here. Oh, man, she's got the whole thing going on here. She's got like a video and boots, and she's got the name on the wall already in pink. Ugh. She's one of those extra girls. No thanks. Online comments ranging from amusement to skepticism. Some people questioning the unconventional spelling. Other people reminding the young lady that we're naming babies who will one day become adults. So, yeah, maybe take it easy on the boots.
Are you ready, Boots? Start walking.
Somebody else said, am I the only one who actually loves it? I think it's so different and beautiful. Someone else said, I'm a teacher, don't do it. Somebody else said, how the hell do you even pronounce that? Someone also commenting, Lucasey is a little too close to lunacy for me. Yeah, I don't. You play the name game, right? I don't have kids, so I don't know. But you got to play the name game, right? You got to figure out what rhymes with it and how kids are going to bully your kid. Something along those lines. In Colorado, a bear broke into a home not once but twice in the same night.
Get out! Oh my God. Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
I have never been more grateful for men with guns in my entire life. Like, officers, thank you for your courage. This is bad.
Yeah, a black bear breaking into a house in Boulder, Colorado, not once but twice on Wednesday of last week. Residents said the bear had been breaking into her car the weeks prior. Situation got worse when the bear broke into her home through the porch's sliding doors at about 1 a.m. on Wednesday. The two residents of the home crawling out a window, running to the car, calling police. When the cops got there, they yelled at the bear, scared it, and it ran away. Then a couple hours later, the bear returned and ransacked their kitchen.
The bears can smell the menstruation.
Residents this time around banging on the wall, screaming until the bear once again fled the house for good.
Big bear, chase! Big bear, chase!
What is he saying?
What? Big bear, chase me!
Yeah. The Boulder, Colorado Police Department sharing video of the incident on their Facebook page. Bear's active right now, trying to load up on calories before they go into hibernation for the winter.
I shooed the bear away. I told him he was a naughty bear.
Not once, but twice. They got some good stuff over there at that house. This is hashtag Florida Man. A very heated conversation about chickens and eggs led to a guy in Port St. Lucie firing his handgun at several patrons outside of a bar. It was Harper's Pub in Port St. Lucie, Florida. 44-year-old Peter Riera fired shots at 3 people who claimed they were trying to con him. Body camera footage from the police department shows this guy being taken into custody. He's accused of firing 4 rounds from a .45 caliber Glock at 3 different individuals after an argument outside the closed bar. Police said that once outside, the conversation continued. Riera became paranoid, believing the victims were out to get him. The shooter evidently raises chickens. So this guy is a chicken farmer. And the conversation was about how many eggs chickens can lay. And for whatever reason, they got into an argument about how many eggs a chicken can lay. That's when this guy armed himself with a handgun and started firing. This dude just shooting at people about the old chicken and egg question.
The shooter evidently raises chickens, and the conversation was about how many eggs a chicken can lay. One victim ran out into the roadway trying to get away from the shooter. The other 2 victims hid. We had several phone calls. The shooter himself called 911. Arming yourself with a handgun when you're under the influence is not a good idea. There's never going to be a good outcome with that.
Police said the victims all knew each other and had just met the suspect that night. All of the people involved had been drinking. None were hit, however. So this guy may be an excellent chicken farmer, but he's a really bad shot. This guy facing multiple charges. Apparently thought they were trying to con him when it comes to how many chickens or how many eggs a chicken can lay. Not sure what that means. But this guy getting in an argument about it at bar time and decides to just pop, pop, pop.
Have you ever fired your gun up in the air and gone, ah? No, I have not ever fired my gun up in the air and gone, ah.
This guy did. Missed everybody.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Last but not least, this is in California. A man there is accused of breaking into UC Berkeley, a sorority on the campus, and watching students shower and then stealing their underwear. But I'm a creep. Yeah, he's a creep. A laundry list of prior convictions for this guy who snuck into a sorority at the University of California, Berkeley, watched young women living in the house shower, and even stole their underwear. This guy was living out a Revenge of the Nerds fantasy. His name is Courtney Alford. He was arrested by officers along with the Berkeley Police Department 4 days after a bunch of sorority sisters reported seeing a strange man snooping around the Alpha Chi Omega house. Students said that they caught the pervert picking through a co-ed's room before fleeing the residence at about 6 a.m. Others reporting that the middle-aged man was sneaking around as early as 3 a.m. So he's been in the house for a couple hours just going through your panty drawer. That's what he was doing. He was creeping while they were sleeping. Officers went through the security footage, found multiple clips of this guy believed to be Alford walking inside and outside of the building until about 6:30. At one point, also appeared to leave and return with a whole new bunch of clothing on and a ski mask covering his face. Maybe he realized I probably am on camera somewhere, should hide my identity. This guy apparently made off with a bunch of pairs of their underwear and a couple of slices of pizza as well. Down there in the kitchen, having himself a little late-night snack.
Your move, creep.
One student woke up while the guy was prowling near her bed. Another allegedly saw him spying on her while she was showering. This guy, someone that is known to the Berkeley Police Department well enough that an officer recognized him from one of the surveillance photos. Yeah. Arrested this guy at his house without incident. Recovered a cache of weapons. Whole bunch of other stuff. Creeping while you're sleeping. Ugh. No thanks. Keep that guy locked up. Maybe that's where he belongs, instead of out in the public with the rest of us. It's Godsmack.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is the website. You can head there to find all of our contact info. You can listen to the show live on the website. You can also check out our daily podcast. And if you missed our interview with Billy Gardell, you can hear that right there on the website as well. Billy Gardell, star of Mike and Molly, Bob Hart's Abishola, a bunch of other stuff. Going to be at the Pablo in January. And we interviewed him this morning. You can hear that interview in its entirety at rockmornings.com. Got a text message from Dean who said, I'm with Grant. Brady is a weirdo. Rodgers is eclectic, but he doesn't kiss kids on the mouth. Well, Rodgers doesn't have any kids of his own. So I would hope he's not kissing kids on the mouth. But to each his own. I'll take Brady over Rodgers any day. Got a text from Jim. Said, I am volunteering at our local VA helping the older vets. I said, hell yeah, that's awesome. He said, they're a rowdy bunch. Getting after it on a Tuesday, huh? What you got in that coffee? Also got a text from Officer Lozano. Said, good morning, Brian. It's K9 Rock's birthday today. Lacrosse Police K9 Officer Rock turning 8 years old. Wanted to hear some Disturbed, Unstoppable. He's turning 8 and will enjoy a nice steak this evening. Hell yeah. I might go home and enjoy a nice steak myself. Naomi said, thank you, veterans, for your service and sacrifice to our country. Alex, texting in earlier, said, happy Tuesday. It's also Riverfront Revolt Announcement Day. The details on that coming soon. Riverfront Revolt returning to the Lacrosse Center. Alex said, I have my theories on who's performing. Well, you're going to find out who it is shortly. Thank you very much for all of the correspondence. Always good to hear from you guys. Appreciate it. Be a part of the program. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will talk to you tomorrow.